Dear students, today in session 4 we are going to deal with the discussion on language components. In session 1 we had considered the introduction to the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, and in session 2 we had seen and understood the poetry by doing the critical appreciation of the poem. And in session 3, we had considered annotations and short questions and answers, and how to answer the annotations and short questions and answers according to the university pattern. Now, in session 4, that is this present session, we are going to deal with the language components, which is already given in the text. Now, under language components, we have 5 categories. First one is punctuation. And in this punctuation, sentence or a small paragraph will be given to you. What you need to do is the paragraph or a sentence which is given does not contain the required punctuation marks. You need to put in the punctuation marks according to the demands of the sentence. Now, if you take for example, I hope all of you have the textbooks in front of you when you start this session. It's already given in the textbook. Under punctuation, the sentence structures will be the same in the examination question paper also. So if you have a good practice of the exercise which is given in the text, I think that should be sufficient for you to answer the questions in the examination. Now, if you consider the first question under punctuation, which says, rewrite the following with appropriate punctuation. The sentence which is given here, the first one, King Ulysses says, my son Telemachus will look after my kingdom and discharge his duties while worshipping his household gods. Now, this is a sentence given. If you can observe very keenly, you don't see many punctuation marks here other than the capital letters. Now, if you have to answer this question, this is how you are going to answer. You can see a few more punctuation marks here. When we say punctuation marks, what are the important punctuation marks that you need to keep in mind are capital letter, comma, inverted commas. It can be either single inverted commas or double inverted commas, full stop, question mark, exclamatory mark. These are the main punctuation marks which you need to have in your mind. But when we say punctuation marks, we have many more punctuation marks. But here you need to consider mainly only these: capital letter, comma, inverted commas, full stop, question mark, and exclamatory mark. So you can see all those marks here, whichever is required. Since it is a direct speech, we have used comma, double inverted commas, and at the end of the sentence a full stop, and a capital letter in the beginning of the sentence, and a capital letter for the proper noun. So these are the punctuation marks which I used here. Now, this is the first category of language component which you can see in the exam also. The second category is framing questions. Now, when we say framing questions, there are two kinds of questions which can be framed. One is WH question, the other one is yes or no question. Now, here, if we see the first sentence, Ulysses was the king of Ithaca. If you can observe the instruction which is given in brackets, it says, frame a question so as to get the underlined word as answer. In another way, we can say frame a WH question. So this is a WH question which we have framed here to get the underlined word as the answer. So who was the king of Ithaca? So the underlined word is Ulysses. That is the reason why we have started the question with the WH word who. Now, the second sentence given also demands a WH question. King Ulysses chose the sea route to travel the world. Now, here also the instruction given is frame a question to get the underlined word as the answer. So, wherever you get an instruction this way, that is frame a question to get the underlined word as the answer, if this is the kind of instruction given, it means you have to frame a WH question. To frame a WH question, your questions will always start with WH words. Which are the WH words? What, when, who, why, how, whose, whom. The words which start with WH. These are WH words. So your WH questions will always start with WH words. So keep in mind, whenever you get the instruction to frame a question to get the underlined word as the answer, your question will always be a WH question. Now moving on to the third sentence. The mariners were ready to accompany Ulysses on his voyages. Now look at the instruction which is given here. Convert into yes no question. So it is very clearly instructed that you have to frame a yes no question. Any yes no question will start with auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. Now which are those helping verbs that we can consider? It can be a be verb, it can be a have verb, it can be a do verb, or it can also be a modal. So these are the auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs. I repeat, be verbs, have verbs, do verbs and modals can function as auxiliary or helping verbs. So if you have to frame yes no question, your questions will either start with be verb or have verb or do verb or modal. Now let us see this third question. The mariners were ready to accompany Ulysses on his voyages. So when you have to convert this into a yes no question, you are supposed to retain the tense of the sentence. Now, mariners were ready. Were, it is in past tense. So your question will also be in a past tense. So the answer for this question is, were the mariners ready to accompany Ulysses on his voyages? So if you can see here, this yes no question has started with the helping verb which is a be verb. Were is a be verb. Now if you see the next question, Ulysses had undertaken many adventurous voyages to acquire knowledge. So convert this into yes no question. So as I told you, yes no question will always start with a helping verb. So helping verbs can be either a be verb or a have verb or a do verb or modal. Now in the third question, the yes no question started with a be verb. Now in the fourth sentence, the yes no question has started with have verb because the sentence itself has a have verb. Ulysses had undertaken. Had is a have verb. So if you have the have verb in the sentence, your question also starts with a have verb. Same have verb as given in the sentence. Tense should be retained in the answer. Ulysses had undertaken. If that kind of a sentence is given, your question will be, had Ulysses undertaken many adventurous voyages to acquire knowledge? So we have seen the second category of language component. Now coming to the third category of language component, that is use of negatives. What is the meaning of use of negatives here? If a sentence is given, you will have to use a negative word or remove the negative word which is already given. If a negative sentence is given, you will have to make a positive sentence or an affirmative sentence. If a positive sentence or an affirmative sentence is given, you will have to make a negative sentence. So how do we do that? Now let us look at the first sentence given. Were not the Greeks brave and adventurous? Now the instruction given is convert into an affirmative sentence. Affirmative is a positive sentence. Now the given sentence is a negative sentence. How do we know that it is negative? The word not indicates negativity. Now if you have to change that to affirmative, you have to remove the word not and give the answer. So the answer goes like this. The Greeks were brave and adventurous. So were not the Greeks brave and adventurous is a question. Now the instruction is change it into affirmative sentence. So that's how the sentence the Greeks were brave and adventurous becomes the answer. Now coming to the second one, the people of Ithaca did not know their king. Convert into affirmative. Same method we are going to follow here. We are going to remove the word not in the question and give the answer. The people of Ithaca knew their king. Now moving to the third sentence, the aged Ulysses wanted to rest after the long and perilous journey. Now here the instruction is convert into negative sentence. Now the given sentence here does not have the word not. So to make it a negative sentence, we are going to include the word not, and at the same time we are not going to change the sentence tense. Retaining the tense, we are going to include the word not. Now the question is in past tense. The aged Ulysses wanted. Wanted is in past tense. So the answer also should be in past tense. So that's how the answer is. The aged Ulysses did not want to rest after the long and perilous journey. So by using did not, we have retained past tense. At the same time, we have made it negative. Now moving to the fourth one. Does Telemachus worship his household gods? Convert into negative. Same way, retain the tense and make it negative. Telemachus does not worship his household gods. Does not. This projects the same tense as in the sentence and the negativity of the sentence. Now after the third category of language components, the fourth category under language components is linkers. Now what do you mean by linkers? Linkers are nothing but conjunctions, which we have already seen. In parts of speech you might have already come across conjunctions like and, but, because, and certain other things. So the same way we are going to use conjunctions here. So another name given to conjunctions is linkers. Now if you see the sentences which are given here, the answer I have already mentioned, but in the examination it will be blank. Choices will be given to you at the end of the question, something like this, and you have to answer or fill in those linkers or conjunctions into the blanks. The first sentence is customers buy goods not only in fairs but also in supermarkets. Second one, businessmen cannot thrive unless they attract buyers. Now third sentence, though the government has established many IT companies, there are many unemployed in the country. The next one, sellers find business difficult as the online shopping becomes more popular. Now the options are given below the questions. You have many linkers given. You will have to choose the correct linker and fill the blanks. So this is the fourth category under language components. The last category of language components is comprehension passage. A passage will be given to you. You have to read the passage and answer the questions based on that particular passage. So you have totally 5 categories of language components. Every category will be for 4 marks in the examination. Totally language components will be for 20 marks, 4 marks each. So out of 80 total marks, 20 marks will be allotted for grammar section, that is language component section. So please take care that you don't make mistakes. The questions will be very simple. Just a simple practice will help you to answer this category or this section of the question paper. Now here the passage you can see in your textbook as well. The same thing you can see on the slide. If you have the textbook right in front of you, you can take 2 minutes to read the passage and then answer the questions. So here is the passage and the questions are answered here. You can just have a look at the answers. Answers are directly taken from the passage. It doesn't take much time. Most probably the questions will be referential questions most of the times. So it will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes to answer this entire section of comprehension passage. So I think this should be enough for the guidelines to answer the language components. You need to practice a little more. The language components which are given after every lesson, if you are keenly observing, that particular practice should be sufficient for you to score 20 marks very easily. And either you score 20 on 20 or 0. So there is nothing in between for grammar section. You either answer correct or wrong. Half correct, half wrong concept doesn't exist in grammar section. So be a little more careful and all the best. Thank you very much.